Good morning again, everyone. I'm Rick Walker with Maverick News and Maverick Multimedia with this Freedom Convoy 2022 update with information, the latest information from the Windsor-Detroit border, where police have moved in and have effectively dismantled now the remains of what was a border blockade there, with protesters who had for much of the past week uh, blockaded uh, the Ambassador Bridge on Huron Church Road, which leads up to the bridge. Going to bring in some footage here. This is the most recent footage we have from the border, and this was the scene this morning as police moved into place just around 6:30, and then really ramped up their presence in the area. It was very cold overnight, and even though through the night there were still quite a few protesters on Huron Church Road, the numbers dwindled through the night because it was so cold and because they'd been there for so long. It's been difficult to get feeds out of here. Many of the people that we've had on site have had battery issues because of the cold and simply because they've been there so long. Police moved about at least 10 buses approximately into the area in order to take prisoners away. And they also had the OPP True Team, the Tactical Rescue Unit, on site with an armored vehicle for, well, I guess it's been about an hour and a half. Protesters were on one side of cement barricades that police moved into position yesterday. Police were on the other side. But only about maybe 30 or 40 protesters remained on site this morning at about 7 a.m. And it was clear at that point, as police also brought in canine units, they had the resources, the manpower, the people power, the boots on the ground to do what they needed to do to effectively break up the remains of this protest. Most of the vehicles that had been involved in this blockade were already gone. The trucks moved, most of them, I think, by the owners themselves. Police indicated that one vehicle at least was towed, but that they said was because of a mechanical problem. So it looks like most of the protesters moved on their own and not many arrests made. We do know that 10 hours ago, a 27-year-old male, this confirmed by Windsor police, a 27-year-old male was arrested at Huron Church Road at Millen Street for a criminal offense in relation to the demonstration. Police remained on scene after that, and they've been taking additional steps to bring this demonstration protest to an end. The provincial government, Premier Doug Ford, applying pressure where they can or where they could to bring this to a conclusion, because they in turn have been under pressure from manufacturers, especially the auto industry, because over $300 million US in trade crosses the Ambassador Bridge every single day. The economic impact has been substantial, and that certainly got the attention of the government and in turn police, who have been on site and have been preparing to enforce laws, both old laws and new laws, which have brought into place extreme, harsh penalties for protesters who block highways and bridges. New laws introduced by the Premier of Ontario, which can include fines of up to $100,000 and a year in prison. as you can see, police began to move forward and carefully, I don't really know what the phrase to use here is, but it's been a game of inches all along. But this morning, police really reclaimed the bridge, with officers moving into position and then moving up on the protesters. And it isn't clear at this point how many arrests might have been made on site, but media behind this barricade, supervised by police, kept at a distance, were on hand to witness and record the event as it unfolded. Police, as you can see, almost swarming over the remaining protesters, but not in a really aggressive fashion at all, just moving ahead. And with the number of officers that were on site, they really didn't need to get aggressive because the protesters were so outnumbered. So we're just waiting to get word back from Windsor Police to confirm exactly what is going on site right now. Obviously, their first priority will be to reestablish traffic flow so that cross-border trade can resume. So this battlefront, conceded by the freedom fighters, but the war for freedom to end vaccine mandates and to restore the Charter of Rights and Freedoms and the Constitution in Canada continues. Protesters are still in place in Ottawa and at other points across Canada where the demonstrations continue. So this, again, is the scene this morning, and this is the latest information we have as of 8:53 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Police began chipping away like this as they ramped up enforcement efforts yesterday morning. And as you can see, a large number of the officers breaking away, pulling back there as the vehicles continue to move forward and basically mop up what really constitutes the remnants of what was a blockade that remained in place for the better part of a week. Was it successful? Did it achieve anything? Those are questions we will explore later today and certainly during our broadcast this evening, which begins at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we will have more on what has happened here this morning at the Windsor-Detroit border, as well as the latest information and new, current, fresh, and live video from the main battlefront, which remains in Ottawa at Parliament Hill, and from other key points across Canada where truckers and their supporters continue to protest. So this, again, the scene as we wrap up here with this brief update this morning, this is the scene on Huron Church Road at the Windsor-Detroit border where police have reclaimed the border crossing for the government and the freedom fighters have been pushed back. With that, I am Rick Walker with Maverick Multimedia and Maverick News, signing off until our main broadcast this evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If there are other major developments through the day, we will sign back on and bring you up to date. We will continue to monitor the situation, but 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is our next regularly scheduled broadcast. So join us then on YouTube and on Facebook. And please like, share, subscribe, and ring the notification bell to make sure that you don't miss any important updates as our coverage of Freedom Convoy 2022 continues. Thanks for tuning in this morning. I'm Rick Walker, signing off. Catch you on the flip side.